Good evening, friends, and welcome to yet another awesome session of Mindful Living. We
Good
truly
evening, sir.
appreciate. Good evening, good evening. We truly appreciate your taking out the time and joining the session today. I assure you that I will do my best to make this investment of time truly worth your while. Like all sessions of Mindful Living, our session today is also dedicated to improving our quality of life. Please respond by typing Y if any of these questions resonate with you. And feel free to type Y more than once if you agree with this. Are you ambitious and driven by achievements? Please type Y if you are ambitious and you are achievement oriented. And please be active. Do you feel overwhelmed by responsibilities, stressed thin between high stakes work projects, family commitments, social obligations? Don't be shy, keep typing Y. Are you seeking a promotion or a career shift but lack a clear strategy to achieve it? Do you worry about remaining stuck in the current role and want to move forward with purpose? Friends, I need far more of you to respond. Do you feel a scarcity of time? The demand of meetings, emails, and deadlines often leaving little room for reflection and goal planning. Do you doubt your own readiness to take on new challenges and fear failing if you set ambitious goals? And type Y if you want to develop a growth-oriented mindset by committing to learn and acquire new perspective. I think this will be yes for sure for all of you because you have taken out 1.5 hours time today on a weekend to learn about goal setting. Friends, if you have responded Y to any one of these questions, then you are at the right place at the right time because today we are going to talk about how by setting goals, you can develop a growth-oriented mindset, which will help you deal with the challenges that we discussed and in the process help you have a better 2025 than 2024. And some of you may be wondering why are we having this session in November when the new year is still about 45 days or 44 days away. And this is something I learned from my coach, Thaddeus Lawrence. I signed up for a program with him in December 2020. And the reason he started in December was so that when that 2021 comes, we are ready with a plan and we are ready to take off rather than stumble into New Year and then wonder what to do. Do you think this is a good approach to now use next for 30 to 40 days in planning for 2025 and then when 2025 comes, we are completely ready for it. If you agree this is a good approach, please type BIO in the chat box. Bring it on. Please type bring it on in the chat box if you think this is a good approach to start planning for 2025 now when you have another 30 to 40 days remaining and we can use this time to prepare and get hit 2025 running when it arrives. Thank you, friends, for your enthusiastic responses. And I would like to begin by asking you on reflecting a time when you or your team achieved a goal and how it felt. If you would like to share it in the chat, you can do so. Or if you would like to speak, you can raise your hand using the reactions button and share with us how it felt when you or your team achieved a goal. Felt thrilled. Thank you so much for sharing that. Happy. Yeah, absolutely. It feels great to achieve goals. There is a sense of achievement brought us together. Thank you. Yeah, it brings us together. A lot of, it's challenging when we work. Satisfied. Thank you, Dr. Hardeep, for sharing that. Great. Yes, it's a great feeling. I agree. Elated. Beautiful. So we feel wonderful, we feel thrilled, we feel elated, we feel great, we feel satisfied. And I will look forward to your sharing your responses. Yet many of us, go through our life without really setting our goals. We kind of sleepwalk through our life, not having a clear direction of what we want to do. And then not having those clear goals about our life reflects into our not having yearly goals, not having monthly, weekly, or daily goals. And in this process, rather than use our life constructively, it just passes us by. And there is a reason why we don't have goals and we kind of sleepwalk through life. It's because people feel that goals are not important, because if they were important, it would have been taught to us in the school, So in schools, they don't teach us how to set goals and how to achieve them. So possibly it's not something which is important, or it's not part of a popular culture. So typically when we meet, the conversations start with how's the weather, how's family, how's stock market, but nobody talks about, whether you achieved your goal, etc. or not. So this is not popular culture. And the third reason, which is what happened with me, is I tried setting it up many times. Tried achieve set my goals and achieve it many times, but it didn't happen. So from a period of 1993 to 2000, I would set my personal goals every year, but I failed to achieve. I couldn't find my way around it. So in 2000, I kind of stopped, setting my goals. So some of you may resonate with this, and others are not consciously aware. What is the difference that setting goals can make? So if in the lack of that awareness, they don't set their goals. So these are some of the reasons people don't set their goals. And as I mentioned, there was a period in my life when I was not setting goals. So from 2000 to 2020, I didn't set my goals, personal goals. And it used to kind of bother me that how come in the organizations, in the companies where I work for, I'm always asked to set my goals for the work, but never asked to set my goals for personal area. So I say, suppose I devote 12 hours at work. So for those 12 hours, there is a goal, X, Y, Z, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are key result areas, but nobody, has a conversation with me. Ashish, for the remaining 12 hours of the day, which is your personal time, do you have any goals? How is that going to make you fulfilled? Or, so that is the kind of thing, that used to bother me. And then by a stroke of good luck, I happened to meet Mr. Manoj Nair. Some of you may know him because he's a speaker on a mindful living community. He's a member of mindful living community and a very good friend. So Manoj and I were attending a conference in 2020, just before the lockdown happened. It was first week of March, and we got allotted the same room. And it turned out that Manoj is from the same city and the same school where I come from. So we immediately hit it off. And, we sat talking till about 12 o'clock, and he talked about how he sets and achieves goals. And that was like music to my ears, because I had never been able to set my goals and achieve them. Or rather, I set my goals, but I couldn't achieve them. So next day in the evening, uh, we and I, he and Manoj and I sat down, and we, for 3 hours, I kept drilling him on, how to set goals, how this happens, how that happens. And he had been setting his goals and achieving them. He was completely nailing it. So I learned a lot from him. And then 2020, for the first time, again, I started setting my goals, and I started with handwritten goals, and then I hit the goals in 2020, even though it was a lockdown. and 2021. And then, from that time, I have been setting, this is a screenshot of my folder on goals that I have. So you can see 2022, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I have 10-year goals, so 2034, and then I have 23-year goals going up to 2047, and so on and so forth. And if you go down, you see I have also made my will. So while I'm living, I know what I'm going to do. And when I pass away, I know what's my family going to do. So, this is how I'm leading my life, and I'm completely enjoying it. And that is what I propose to share with you today, how to set and achieve your goals. I'm also going to share with you some reasons why we fail to achieve those goals, and my learnings, my practical learnings from the last 5 to 6 years of setting and achieving those goals, the nuances which make a critical difference in achieving the goals. If you think that is exciting, type E in the chat box. If you think that is exciting, type E in the chat box. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Anupam. Thank you, Ravindra. Thank you, Dr. Hardeep. Thank you, Bamal. Very, very good. Very good, friends. You're very engaged. I truly appreciate that. And now I want to ask you, before I go further, if there is one superpower you could have, what would that superpower be? You can type in the chat. What would that? Thank you, Minnie. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Ravi. What would that one superpower be? Thank you, Anupam. I truly appreciate your everyone's active participation. Thank you. To have extra time, yeah. Competence, thank you. Yeah, you're all right. And one thing I would like to bring your thank you, Dr. Hardeep, to bring your attention is, if we could have a superpower where we know how to set and achieve our goals, won't it be wonderful that I can set a goal and I can achieve it? That way I can get everything in my life. If you think that's truly awesome, type A in the chat box. Learning about how to set my goals and achieve it, that is what we're going to do in the session today. And it is very, very possible. So we're going to discuss the art and science of setting goals and achieving them in the session today. Friends, some of you may be attending the session for the first time. Let me take a minute to introduce myself. My name is Ashish Kumar, and I'm the founder of Mindful Living. We started Mindful Living Community in April 2020 when the first lockdown happened. Few of my friends reached out to me to conduct mindfulness sessions for them, to help them deal with the stress and anxiety that the lockdown was causing. And I conducted a session for them. One thing led to other, and that small group of friends has now grown to be group of thousands of people who connect actively and share amongst each other how to live consciously. We don't advertise about the work that we do. The only way you can join a mindful living community is when somebody invites you to join. And I would like to invite you to join our community with open hands. So please join the community, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel, on which you will find more than 200 videos by world-class speakers on different aspects of living consciously. I'm a certified mindfulness meditation teacher, a trainer, a certified coach, and by education, I'm an MBA from Symbiosis Institute of Business Management, a cost accountant, fellow of Life Management Institute. I've worked with in the corporate sector for over 25 years with leading organizations like Xerox, Tata AIA Life Insurance, Future Generali, Marsh, and I currently am a consultant with Limra and Loma, mentor to students of IIM Nagpur, and recently turned an author with the book Beyond Limits, which is available on Amazon. You could go and look it up. It's getting some very good reviews. So friends, with that, we will dive into our session today. Please use the reactions button to, show thumbs up if you like something, clap, show love, or raise hand. So be actively engaged. We will have question and answers towards the end of it, but stay actively engaged. It's not a podcast, it's not a TV show which you can listen to relaxing, but be actively engaged. Keep a notepad and pen ready and take notes. I'm going to share with you 10 things which I have learned about goal setting, which normally are not talked about in textbooks or anywhere else. These are my personal learnings, and I would like you to take them down. One, two, three, four. What are the 10 takeaways you have from the session today? And towards the end of the session, I would like you to share one, two, three, five, or 10 takeaways that you have from the session. And don't believe me, try this out. And when it works for you, that's when you can believe me. Please ensure that you're not disturbed for the next whatever 45, 60 odd minutes, so that you can make the most of this session. So now, friends, let's begin by understanding why it is important to set goals. And the first thing I would like to share with you is this, content from this beautiful book, What They Don't Teach You at Harvard Business School. In this, the author cites the study which was done with students of Harvard Business School in 1979. Students of Harvard Business School were asked, how many of you have clear, written, specific goals? And surprisingly, only 3% of the students had clear, specific, written down goals. And there were another 13% students who had goals, but they were not written down. And 84% didn't have any written or otherwise goals. They were just wanting to have a summer job and have a good time, have fun. 10 years later, they went back to the same set of students and they found that the 13% who had goals but were not written down were earning twice as much as the other batch, and 3% who had specific written down goals were earning 10 times more than everybody else put together. If you think that is wow, type 10x in the chat box. Thank you, Minnie. They were earning 10x of the whole class. So if you think that is awesome, please type 10x. That's the power of setting goals. When you set goals, you really take off. And this does not mean you need to work harder. It's just about working smarter. Setting goals energizes a lot of things, and it happens. It does not mean that you need to work 10 times harder. It just means you work smarter. And this is another reason why this is very important, goal setting, because Dr. Viktor Frankl talks about it in his book, Man's Search for Meaning, that the greatest need for human beings is for a sense of meaning and purpose in life, to have a goal to work towards. So in the absence of goals, friend, life can become very meaningless. And when we have goals, we have a greater purpose, and it helps us get through the most difficult times. These are some pictures from the concentration camp that Viktor Frankl was in, Dr. Viktor Frankl. And as you can see, it was a very, grim situation. Uh, they were they didn't have any clothes to wear. Their head were shaved, their eyelashes were shaved. Uh, they had food which was like soup which was like gutter water, very bad quality of food. And the picture on the bottom left you see is of the gas chamber, and on what you see on the bottom right is the railway track. So every day they would be put into a train, and they don't know whether they are going to gas chamber or they are going to another concentration camp. So living in those circumstances is very, very tough. And Dr. Viktor Frankl survived that. Not, and he says that what helped him was having a purpose, having a greater meaning to look forward to, and that helped him survive these difficult times. So having goals helps us, achieve much more. It helps us get through very difficult times, and it helps us marshal resources from the entire universe. This is when Kainat starts supporting us. And there is a biological reason for this. It is everything I share is backed by science. and there is a reticular cortex in our brain. And what this does is it filters the information that is coming into our brain. There is so much of information that is all around us, and if this filter is not there, everything will come into our brain, and then our brain will like explode. But reticular cortex ensures that only what we seek is coming to us, and when we have goals, it channelizes the information that we need to achieve our goals to come into our brain, and that way, it becomes so much more interesting. It also scans the environment around, and gets that information which is supportive of our achieving the goals. And it helps us, the setting goals helps us become a growth stock. Anybody invests in stock markets? If you invest in stock markets, please type SM. Or even if you don't invest, but you're familiar with stock markets, how they work, please type SM. Yeah, okay, Anupam, thank you. Thank you, Bhamil. Thank you, Abhishek. Thank you, Namrata. So a lot of you are familiar, right? Now, let me ask you a question. If you were to invest a lakh into a stock market, how much return would you expect in a year? Thank you, Ashish. If you invest a lakh in a stock in stock markets in 1 year, how much return will you expect? Normally, I'm not trying to test your knowledge. I'm just trying to get, okay, Abhishek, thank you. 15% return is good. 12%, okay, 30%. Yeah, yeah. These are all estimates. We are not looking at accuracy. Yeah, 10%, 10, 15, 12, 30%. Okay. 25%. Thank you, Dr. Hardeep. Now, what if I were to tell you that you can get 100% return by investing in a stock? Will you go for it? Type Y if you will go for a stock. Yes, Anupam. Okay. Thank you, Abhishek. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Everybody will go for a stock if I'll give you 100% return in a year, right? And what if I tell you there is a stock which will give you 1200% return in 1 year? Will you go for it? Yeah. Everybody will go for it, right? Now, this is exactly what happened with me, friends. I signed up for a program with Thaddeus Lawrence in December 2020. And in 2021, I made 12 lakhs. Those were the initial years of my setting up the business. And that investment that I made in myself gave me 1200% returns. So, we look at investing in others' business, but we don't look at investing in our own learning. And the investment in our own learning is the best investment that we can do, which is exactly what you are doing. You're investing time in learning about goal setting, and this can give you a lot of returns, 100%, 500%, 1000%, like that in a year's time. And there are four goal setting principles which are very, very important. And in the absence of this, the goals don't come true. One is having clarity, crystal clear clarity on what we want to achieve. If I want to buy a car, whether it is Safari, which make, how the seats will be like, what kind of lights I will have, AC, non-AC, four-wheel, two-wheel, which color, whatever, absolute clarity. Mind thrives clarity. So if I say I want an apple, the mind is not clear whether I want an apple to eat or an Apple Watch or an Apple phone. It needs clarity. So when you have a picture of what you want, whether it's an Apple or green apple or Apple phone or Apple iPod or Apple, laptop, then it gets the clarity. So visualization is a very powerful practice to have that clarity. And once have that clarity, then mind starts working for you, and it becomes a resource which will support you in achieving your goals. Second is challenge, the right amount of challenge. Sometimes we take on, goals which are far too ambitious. There is no harm, but then, it becomes a non-starter. So it's very important that we are setting goals. We set them at a level where we feel motivated to work. Or sometimes people set goals which are so easy that they don't get started. Oh, ye to ho hi jayega. Why should I work for it? So the goals should have the right level of challenge to motivate you to work. So that's another very important principle. And the third is commitment. How committed are you to achieving a goal? And which is where I would like you to watch the TED Talk Why by Simon Sinek, WHY. The name of the TED Talk is Why by Simon Sinek. And there he talks about understanding the why of anything is so important. So why do you want this goal becomes so important? And lastly, it is a feedback mechanism. Are you setting up some feedback mechanism for yourself? It could include dashboards, it could include having a coach or a mentor, it could be an accountability partner you have. Do you have some feedback mechanism coming into you, a course correction mechanism that is coming to you? Are you with me so far? I'll pause here to see if this is making sense. And if you have any quick questions or comments, I'll be happy to take before we move forward. Okay, making sense. If it's making sense, type MS in the chat. Okay, okay, yes, 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 or MS. Yeah, thank you. Okay, very good. So now, thank you, friends. Most of you are with me. That's very good. You're very enthusiastic, very participative. That makes it so worthwhile for me. And now, what we are going to do is we have seen the four levels principles of what is goal setting, and I'll put them up again for you, and we will use those principles, and you can take screenshot when I put it up, and use those principles to write down um, three goals for 2025 in one of the areas. I'm going to show 8 areas that are very important for our life from the wheel of life. So pick up one area because we are short on time today. Pick up one area and write down three goals in that area using the principles that I have shared with you. You can take a screenshot of this and then we will move forward. Clarity, challenge, commitment, and feedback. So now, friends, these are the 8 areas from the wheel of life. And you can pick up any one area for the purpose of today, for our exercise today, whether it is career or you want to set financial goals, spiritual goals, family goals, social, physical, health goals. Now, please don't annotate on the screen. You need to write on your notepad, not on the screen. Are you clear? We'll take 5 minutes for you to reflect. Have you taken a screenshot of the clarity principles and the areas, career, finance, health, social, spiritual? Yeah, not yet. Okay, I'll put them again. Please take a screenshot and then we will use next 5 minutes to work on the goals. Pick up one area. These are the principles of goal setting: clarity, challenge, commitment, and feedback. And these are the 8 areas. Pick up any one for the purpose of today and write down three goals in any one area. Okay. Yeah, Monica, thank you. So you can just write down, three goals in the area of financial, and then we will come and have a quick discussion around that. So you have 4 more minutes. Pick up one of the areas and write three goals in that area that you would like to achieve in 2025. If you have any questions, feel free to ask by using the reactions button. You can raise your hand or type your query in the chat and we'll be happy to take that. And if you're done with your three goals, feel free to share in the chat. If you're comfortable sharing in the chat, please type them out in the chat, or you could raise your hand and ask any, or share it with them, speak and share with them. Type in the chat or share with us. If it is financial, maybe it could be income that you're looking at. It could be savings, it could be investments, it could be passive income, it could be having multiple sources of income, you know.
What
And
would be the goal for family? Like, I want a happy family. So when you said the goal has to be clear, specific, how do I define here in terms of family happiness?
yeah, thank you, Dr. Hardeep. What I would suggest is you picture what does happy life, family life mean for you, and see what do you see yourself doing. Is it having fun times together, watching movie together, cooking together, going out together, playing together? What does happy
Mm.
family life mean to you? So when you visualize that, then you will
Mm.
see yourself doing those things, and there from there possibly you can get some of your goals.
So it could be like taking up a vacation with the family,
Yeah, it could be taking a vacation. It
buying a
could
new
be,
home, buying a new
yeah,
car.
yeah.
Okay, okay. Thank
Car,
you.
car could be a part of home, and car could also be a part of physical.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
material and physical. Yeah, that is also important.
Thank
But then if you have a home and car, your family life becomes better. So yes, some of them may overlap. Yeah, thank you, Monica. Sure. So the career goals could also include learning and getting certifications and stable income to achieve.
Hi,
Yeah,
can you
hi,
hear
Daniel.
me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think my goals overlap massively because I want my family to feel more connected. I have like older children and younger children, and my husband, and like siblings and grandparents. But I feel like I need to focus on my career because I'm hoping that my career will allow me to be able to work like 3 days a week eventually and have everything in place, which will come with a financial gain, which will allow me to make sure that my family's okay, if that makes any sense. So it's kind of like all connected.
Yes, thank you for sharing that, Daniel. What I hear you say is that you have family goals and then you have career goals, which will lead to financial prosperity, which will have everything coming together. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what I feel, definitely.
Yes, they're interlinked. They're
Yeah.
interlinked, and they will impact each other. But for now, we are looking at one area and seeing what is it that we are going to do in that area. Like another way to look at is having good health. If my health is good, then I'll be able to take care of my family. I'll be able to go to work and earn income, which will take care of my family. So health, family, career, income, everything gets together with health. So
Okay. What about a routine? If we look, obviously you said about being clarity. So to improve my routines, because if my routines were better, then I would be able to give all those areas more time.
sure, Daniel. Routines in which area?
Day-to-day routines, just having some habits and really good routines so that I'm feeling more organized. Because obviously when you're not organized, you can feel more stressed.
Sure. And would now what I would urge you to reflect on is whether those routines, where would you like them to have maximum impact? Is it for the purpose of now, for the purpose of the next 30, 40 minutes that we have got, whether you would like to have routines around your health, or would you like to have routines about your investments or your career or your family? What kind of routines? During a day, we do different things, right? So which routines are we specifically looking at?
My family.
Okay. So what kind of, what does that mean for you? And how how would you like it to be better? Those are some of the things you may want to think about, and then see if you can go about building. So there would be an existing routine, let us say, which is X, and you want to have a routine which is like Y, and how is that Y routine going to lead to your having better family life in 2025? Or the X routine is there, then you want to visualize your 2025 family life, and then what kind of changes you need to make for in the routines to have that. Is that coming
Okay.
together for you, Daniel?
Yeah. That makes so much more sense. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Daniel. So just see. Financial government, okay, I got that. I'm just having some, okay, physical Anupam, get lab test, okay. Ensure biomarkers, okay. Okay, that's very interesting. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, how to achieve family goals. Now, good. Has everybody got it? Is there anyone who has any question you want to ask, or anyone who Anupam has shared? Anybody else wants to share? Anybody wants to discuss on their goals? I am happy to do that. So one thing I would like to bring up here, Anupam, is it okay if we take example of what you have shared in the group?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So from basis what Anupama has shared, and this is for everyone also, there are two types of goals, and we often get mixed up in one with the other, and we think, so there are process goals and there are result goals. Okay. And both are important. If we have only result goals and we don't have process goals, then also it does not work. And if we have only process goals, not the result goals, it also does not matter. So I guess what, just looking at what Anupam has shared as an example, what he is essentially looking at is having a vibrant health. And we're not going to get into that discussion because it may be personal, but just for yourself, look at what vibrant health means. Does it mean I'm able to play with my children, grandchildren, or go for my morning walks, play my gym, go to my gym, play golf, badminton? What does what does this good health mean for me? And then there are process goals, what I'll do. It may involve some activity, it may involve some checking, some markers to have. So we need to identify work further down, and that is the work which we are going to do in the workshop that we have put together for you, which I'm going to talk about in a couple of minutes from now. But for now, break down your goals into result goals and process goals, and keep working on both to get optimum results. Brian Tracy says, he's written a fantastic book called Goals, and I would urge you, anyone, to pick up that book and read that, who's serious about achieving their goals. He says 80% of the people fail to achieve their goals. And the reason is that there is a lack of plan of action. We make a goal, but most of the times it's not a goal, it's a wish, and wish is not a goal. So only when we want something and we make a plan of action and commit ourselves to it, it becomes a goal. Another very powerful reason, why we are able to, we miss our goals, is because we do not anticipate obstacles and we don't prepare for it. So the first obstacle comes, we just, topple off and we fall off, and we don't get up and, go for that again. It's also linked to, sorry. I'll request everyone to mute themselves. It's also linked to the commitment we have. So if the purpose is not very strong, if the commitment is not there, at the first obstacle, we drop off the plan and we don't pursue our goals. Third is there is no dashboard to track progress and show us, whether we have achieved 80%, 90%, 100%, or we have exceeded that. And that was one more learning, which I had with Thaddeus, and it was quite a game changer for me. One day he had asked us to do something, and I went in and I said that uh, I have not been able to do that, Thaddeus, fully. There was partial work I had done. And he said, progress counts. He made that very nice statement that progress counts. So let me give you an example to simplify it. Suppose I am at X and I want 10X, and I kind of land up at 4X, and I was feeling dejected that there is a gap of, 6X from what I wanted to achieve. But what Thaddeus was saying is, you have gone from X to 4X. That itself is progress. So don't get dejected. And many a times we get dejected by what we have not achieved, and we fail to look at the progress that we have made. So progress is also successive realization of the goal, which is very important for us to realize. Many people get demotivated and they drop off the goal system. Are you with me? Please type WM if you are with me and if this is making sense. Yeah, thank you, Anupam. Yeah, okay, thank you. You're with me. Okay, all right. This is making sense. Good, friends. Then, we have had this discussion. So now, friends, you have a choice, now that we are about an hour into this session, about 40, 50 minutes, to choose whether in 2025 you want to go ahead at the speed of a bullock cart or you want to take off. If you're ready to take off, please type TO in the chat and I'll share with you what we have put together for you, which will help you take off in 2025. Thank you, Anupam. Thank you, Namrata. Thank you, Minnie. Thank you. Thank you, Daniel. All right. Thank you, Richard. Thank you. So all of you are excited about taking off in 2025. So I'll share with you the details of the workshop that we have put together. It'll have 4 modules. And the first module will be identifying your most important goals. Sometimes we have so many goals that we spread ourselves thin and we are not able to achieve them. So when I was working with Thaddeus, he had me identify 3 most important goals that I have and then focus my energy entirely on it. So that is what we have done today. We have picked up one area for you, which I hope you have picked up the area which is going to make the maximum difference in your life. And in that area, identify 3 most important goals about what you want to be, do, or have. And then we work on that. So we help you get that clarity, which was one of the principles we talked about. Then second challenge which comes is, our, vision I've talking about. I like to talk about values. What do we truly value? And this is something which I realized is hampering my achievement of health goals. So just to give you an example, I have a health goal, which is to release certain number of kgs in weight. But then I'm also a person who likes to socialize and have time with my friends. So anybody who has been on a health regimen knows that weekly goals are very important. And what would happen is, if my friends call me to go out on a weekend, I can't say no because I truly value my friendships and my health goal would get sacrificed. The minute that I got this clarity that I'm not valuing I value my friends more than my health goals, then how will I achieve my health goals? Like that, there might be many values which play out in our life, creating a conflict. So, for example, we may want to grow very fast in our career, but we also want stability. So stability and growth, do they really happen? Or I want to grow fast in career, but also take care of family. So what comes first, whether I take care of family or I take care of my career, or stay in the same job? Many those values come in conflict and they prevent our achieving. So we'll do a case study on this to help us identify our case, values, and then align our values and check whether they are aligned with the goals or not. And then align our check our actions. If my actions are not aligned with our goals, how am I going to achieve my goals? So many a times it happens we have our goals, but our actions are completely not aligned. So in that case, the goal achievement does not happen. So we do this very important exercise, and then we break down and we look at, so what have you put down as whether it's a result goal or a process goal. So we identify the result goals, and then we work on the process goals, which will help you. In case of health, if I want to release certain weight, then what are the actions I'm going to take. So that becomes the process goal. And then make an action plan, which we talked about. So what does it involve? What are the 3 actions I'm going to take on a daily, weekly, monthly basis to achieve my goals? So this is the deep dive into goal setting, which we do in the first module. And then we talked about having a feedback mechanism. So we will have an accountability partner assigned to each participant, so that you help each other give feedback, and help each other achieve your goals. And the friendships you develop as accountability partners last much more beyond the course duration. These people really work out, turn out to be very good friends. Then we understand the difference between short, medium, and long-term goals. Each one of them has a purpose. So how do we identify, and what is the period, whether 1 year is short term, or 1 month is short term, or 3 years or 5 years is medium term, and long term. And there is a very beautiful quotation from Tony Robbins, and that is so true about goal setting, that we overestimate what we can achieve in a year, and we underestimate what we can achieve in 10 years. This is such a powerful quote by Tony Robbins. This worth its weight in gold. I'll repeat it. We overestimate what we can achieve in a year, and we underestimate what we can achieve in 10 years time. So friends, we need to calibrate our goals, have 1, 5, 10-year vision, and anything is possible in 10 years time. So we need to work towards that, get that clarity. You would have heard of SMART goals, but you would not have heard of smarter goals. Having SMART goals is useful, but the difference between achieving and not achieving goals is the the smarter which is review and execution and review, regular execution and review of those goals. And this gives meaning to the SMART. So we're going to talk about that. Look at the gap analysis. What different skills one may need, what different knowledge one may need, what different resources one may need, and making a vision board. 50% of our or more than 50% of our inputs to our brain are visual. I'll share, you can't see it, but I'll share the picture of my vision board, which is right ahead of me. And every day, when I'm at work, I'm looking at what I want to achieve, and constantly that image is going into my brain, and it powers my brain. So making a vision board, visualizing it continuously is very, very important. Third is about the psychology of goal setting. And this is something very beautiful I picked up from the book called Principles by Ray Dalio. Ray Dalio is considered to be one of the 100 most influential people in the world. And he talks about failing spectacularly. And one of the fears I used to have earlier was, what if I fail? What if I set a goal and fail? And, what I learned from this book was, fail spectacularly. So you set goals, audacious, big goals, you fail and you learn in the process, and then you go and set bigger goals. And here the acronym FAIL is first attempt in learning. So it's not like fail is not the same as failure, but first attempt in learning. And we every time we set goal, if we achieve it, it's good. If we don't achieve it, there's a learning. We use that learning and set a bigger goal. So this is so powerful. And now anybody who is in Pune, or I'll share pictures in the program. I have my goals, and it's like publicly displayed. So anybody who comes to my office can see and question me, including my family. So earlier I used to be very shy of sharing my goals, but what if when at end of the year my family comes and says, my daughters come and say, Papa, you missed your goal. Why are you after our life to achieve what we have to achieve? So now I have put them out because I'm very confident that either I hit the goal or I get learning from the goal. So in the module 3, we are going to talk about the psychology of goal setting. We talk about the theory of constraints. When we set a goal, what are the constraints we have? Internal constraints and the external constraints. And the internal constraints is the psychological part of goal setting. And guess, friends, what percentage of the constraints are internal and what percentage of the constraints are external? Please type in the chat. No, yeah, okay, Abhishek. MIG is most important goals. So, and this is, I'm not looking at a right answer, but just looking at hearing from you. What do you think? What percentage? 99% internal. Okay, thank you, Anupam. The book is Goals by Brian Tracy. We will share the picture of that. 99% internal. Okay. The other one is Principles. Principles by Ray Dalio. Yeah, thank you for sharing that, Richard. 99% internal. Yeah, okay. Thank you, Richard. So there are two books we talked about. 50-50, Richard. Okay, thank you. Principles by Ray Dalio and Goals by Brian Tracy. Okay, so 80%, Brian Tracy in his book says 80% constraints are internal. Eat the frog. Okay, thank you. 80% constraints are internal, which means I need to work on my psychology, to hit my goals. Then we look at what are the two major obstacles to the goals. I'm not going to get into that, but what are the two major obstacles and what is the antidote? How to anticipate roadblocks and remove the roadblocks. Understanding that failure precedes success. Sometimes we get derailed by failure, but understanding that failure is an essential part of success. And here I would like to talk about Thomas Alva Edison, who had 9,000 experiments before he came up with the bulb. So will you call those 8,999 attempts as failures or first attempt in learning? So every time we are failing, we are moving closer to the success. That's what we're going to understand. And we're going to understand the MIG, what is the right problem? Because when we identify the right problem, right goal, right obstacle, that's the work which is done. So we use the 5 why technique to identify the right goals and the right roadblocks. So that is module 3. And then, this is a very famous one from Henry Ford, which I love. Whether you believe you can do it or you believe you can't, you are right. This is also very important for us to understand what are my beliefs about goals, about my ability to achieve goals. And this is, again, I picked up something from Ray Dalio in his book, Principles, which is believability index. Only when we can believe a goal 100%, whether I can achieve it, will it come to fruition. So if I have a goal to earn, say, X amount, but I believe my belief is only 80%, then it is better to have a point X as the goal, which I believe 100%. So understanding that, how much I believe, and that's how it translates into manifestation. Being focused on the solution rather than the problem. Stepping out of the comfort zone is very important. Breaking down goals into monthly, weekly, and daily actions, creating dashboards, and 3 specific techniques to magnetize your action. Most of the times we are acting mechanically. How can we magnetize our action to attract success to us is what we're going to talk about in the module 4. And this was another major learning I had. Normally, once I had gone to my boss and I asking him about a promotion, and he told me this thing that, Ashish, this is not a school. I'll request you not to annotate on the screen. This is not a school where you get promoted every year. And so that is how we have grown, having spent so many years in school and college, that every year we move forward, and that's what success looks like to us in a school system. But in real life, it's like a loop. We try, we start out by thinking something else, we land up somewhere else. But as long as the goal is clear, the purpose is clear, we get there. So don't get derailed, is what we are trying to say. And when we apply, the application of this is when the transformation happens. So it's not by the knowledge. What we have largely got here in the session today is knowledge. But when you apply this knowledge, which is what we're going to do in the workshop, that's when the actual transformation happens. So are you all set for growth in 2025? Yes, Namrata, I'll come to that. Thank you, Monica. Thank you. Thank you. If you are set for growing in 2025, please type G. All right, Bamal. All right, Dr. Hardeep. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, Anupam. If you are all set for growing in 2025, and while we are waiting for your responses, I'm going back to slide 4, but you can take a screenshot of this. We'll also be sharing the video of this. So you can always revisit the session and, you can watch it. Okay, Ashish, thank you. Thank you, Mini. Thank you, friends. So now we will see what we have put together for you to go at 100 kilometers an hour. You have a choice to invest in Make 2025 Better, a goal setting workshop that we have put for you, which has got these 4 modules. And think about how much you may be losing by not learning and achieving about setting goals and achieving. Like I talked about having a superpower. Once we learn uh, what we want and we know how to go and get that, so phenomenal it'll be, isn't it? So if you're tired of being stuck at the same level, you want to develop a new mindset to grow in life, then this is the perfect workshop for you. And learn from someone who has been doing it. You can, many of you may be members of Mindful Living community already. So you know that I have been putting out these videos for last 4 years. They are there on our Mindful Living YouTube channel. So you can track my journey on setting and achieving goals by looking at those videos, which I put out 2 years back, 4 years back, etc. And you have Manoj, who is part of our community. You can reach out to him and you can also speak to him. He's the biggest testimonial. And this one comes from no less than Warren Buffett, who is one of the top 10 richest people in the world, who started out by delivering newspapers, and then he's worth more than $100 billion. And he says, the more you learn, the more you earn. So invest in your learning. I have invested myself over 20 lakh rupees in the last 5 years and doing different programs which have helped me grow a lot. And when it comes to investment, there are 2 investments that we need. One is of time and the other one is of money. And being a corporate professional myself, I'm very conscious of delivering a high return on investment in my workshops that people attend. So we have scheduled 4 sessions for you on Sundays, 1st, 8th, 15th, and 22nd December, 60 minutes each from 5 to 6 p.m. IST. This is something which we find very popular time slot with people. Sundays, mostly people are at home, and this is a time slot which doesn't interfere with their other activities. And the fees that we have kept is very nominal, only 2,499 rupees. And in case you would like to have one-to-one coaching session to work deeper into your goal setting success, then 7,499. And in case you would like to sign up for a 5 coaching session package, it is 14,999. Friends, my single coaching session is about $100. So here in option B, you get for $100, less than $100 for 7,499, not only 4 group sessions, but also 1 individual session. And normally my fees for 5-session coaching package is 30,000 rupees. So this one, the package C, which is 4 sessions and 5 individual coaching sessions, delivers maximum value. So you can take this choice, you can make this choice of investing in your growth and coming out a winner in 2025. Once you make the decision, you can Google Pay using this screenshot or this number. All the sessions like this one will be recorded and will be shared with you, so you don't have to worry about having missed any session. There will be a lot of resources that we will share, like I mentioned about case studies, participant workbooks, handouts, links to reference material, etc. There'll be a certificate of completion which you can proudly display on your social media. And as I mentioned, the sessions will be recorded. And the next workshop will be in same time next year. So don't wait for a year to take your life to a next level. This investment of 4 hours and 2,500 rupees will take your life to a completely new level. And there is a special offer for those who take action. I love action takers. So for those who sign up for the coaching package today, there is this very attractive mindful living branded hoodie, which is worth 2,000 rupees. So that comes to you if you decide to sign up today. You can remit a small fees of 249 rupees to block your seat, reserve and balance amount you can remit by 1st of December. That's when the course starts, and you become eligible for this very attractive. You can see bottom left is the two hoodies which I have got for myself, and the same one you get. So this is the Google Pay, and once you commit and start on this journey, there is, it's like a snowball. Initially, you may find that the benefits are very small, very subtle, but over a period of time, as you keep up with the practices, there is a big impact that happens in your life, and you really take off. And as a part of this mindful living community, you get to interact with trailblazers, people who have been featured in HBR case studies, people who are independent directors, business owners who have grown their business 100 times, 1,000 times, real trailblazers. So if achieving high position and increasing the personal and family well-being is a priority for you, then go ahead, book your seat in this program by paying 249 rupees and share the screenshot with us so that we can welcome you to the program. So if you are a person who is sincere, the work has to be done by you. So if you're honest and sincere and believe in yourself, that is the most important. If you believe in yourself and ready to invest in yourself, then this is the right program which will help you and your family. We take very few people because my time is limited and there is only so many people I can take up for coaching in a particular month. I have my travel, I have my other commitments. So we take very few people in the sessions. So ensure that you act fast and book your seat and sign up for this program. The fees, sharing the fee structure once again. For 4 sessions, 4 group sessions, 2,499, which is the package A. And for 4 sessions and 1 coaching session, package B is for 7,499. And the package which delivers the maximum value is 4 sessions plus 5 individual sessions, 14,999. As I shared with you earlier, I invested over a lakh of rupees into my coaching program with Thaddeus, and it gave me like 12x return. So it's not the amount, but the kind of invest return that you can get from that, which is what matters. And as I mentioned earlier, you can reserve your seat by paying a mere 249 rupees today and be eligible for all the gifts and bonuses that we have. This is the screenshot that you can QR code that you can scan to pay. And in case you would like to remit the fees by a bank transfer, in case you're out of India and want to do a bank transfer, these are the bank account details. You can take a screenshot of this. And for those who sign up for package A, which is 4 group sessions today, I'll be happy to offer my recently published book, Beyond Limits, which is getting great reviews. It's got about 14 5-star reviews on Amazon already. Brilliant book about the challenges which corporate professionals face in their lives and how by reframing your thinking, you can successfully handle these challenges. Brilliant book written basis my experience of over 30 years in the corporate sector. And I would like to conclude the session by uh, uh, quoting this favorite quote of mine from Jim Rohn, one of the foremost motivational speakers in America. Formal education will make you a living, but self-education will make you a fortune. So friends, invest in your education, Make yourself a fortune. Warren Buffett says this, Jim Ryan says this. This is my personal experience also. So I'll now open up the sessions for question and answers. Anybody who would like to ask any question, will be happy to take them. Daniel, Ravi, Venkateshwar, Dr. Sisa, Priyal, Ravindra, Ashish, Abdur, Sue, Abe, anyone? Questions or comments? You could also share with me what's your takeaway from the session today. Have you got the 10 my personal takeaways, what I call the art of goal setting? Those with things which help me break through and start cracking how to achieve goals. So if you've got one or two or five or 10, what have been your takeaways from the session today? We'll be happy to hear from you. So one of the sessions I had attended earlier, a gentleman said, can you cover okay. Daniel, you can just let us know which program you want to go for, package A, B, or C, and we will let you know the amount in pounds. For A, it will be 25 pounds. For B, it will be 75 pounds. And for C, it will be 150 pounds. And so one of the sessions I had attended, Daniel, is that okay for you? Have you got it? 25, 75, and 150 pounds for package A, B, and C. And he was saying it's not the condition that you are in that makes a difference. It is the direction in which you are moving forward. So sometimes we feel that, this is where I am. How am I going to get to where I want to go? And he says that it is the direction in which you're moving. So when we start setting goals, we start moving in the direction of the goals, which is very, very important and a big game changer. Starting to move in the direction of your goals itself is the first and foremost important point. Thank you. Thank you, Daniel. Anybody would like to share what their takeaways were? What we also talked about was why setting goals is important. We talked about Mark McCormack's what they taught teach you at Harvard, how 3% people who set goals achieved an income level of 10x compared to those their whole class, which had either goals but not written down or no goals at all. So that's the difference goal setting makes. And we saw reticular cortex that we have got, which then directs our mind. Yeah, that will be about, given the time now, it will be about 12 noon for you, Daniel. 11:30 or 12 noon for you.
12:30, Ashish.
11 and a half, 11:30?
No, 12:30.
12:30. Okay, 12:30. Okay, thank you. So, Daniel, hope you have noted that. So we talked about why setting goals is important. Yeah. And then we saw why people drop off. If the purpose is not clear behind the goals, then at the first obstacle, we drop off. So anticipating obstacles, identifying the purpose behind the goals. This is what we're going to be doing in our workshops and diving deep into why we want and then achieving them. Then we talked about theory of constraints, which was a big realization for me, that internal constraints are 80% of the constraints that come in the way of achieving our goals. Normally, we get distracted by what is outside us, and we don't focus so much on the internal constraints. So this was a great revelation for me. Then the smarter, the ER part of it, so we make SMART goals, which is specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, time bound, and then we execute it with an action plan, and then we review it at a regular basis, which could be daily, weekly, monthly, annual. So the ER part is what makes a big difference. And we talked about how daily focus is very important. And believability index was another big takeaway from me from principles, Ray Dalio. So, I use that to calibrate my goals. And I go for something which I can 100% believe, because what I believe is what is going to get manifested in my life. And success is not a straight line. That was very can you please review process and result goals? Yeah, so result is what I want, so if you can give me an example that you're looking at. So there's an electricity power cut at my end, so that's why suddenly you will find me not very bright. So what is the result goal, and the process is what will get to that. So if my health goal is X, then what are the activities I will do to get to X? That is the process goal. And it's very important. Sometimes we miss a process goal as the result goal. So for example, a lot of people set this goal on 1st of January that I'll start going to the gym. Now, starting to go to the gym is not a result goal. It's a process goal. So if I have set that goal that I'll start going to gym, and I am looking at that as the goal, it's very likely that I'll miss it because I don't have the health outcome, which is the result goal attached to that. Does that help, Sue? Okay, thank you. So we discussed that, and then we talked about implementation. So that's the session on the goal setting, friends. I'm happy to take any questions or comments that you have, and then we can close the session. It's a weekend. I understand you may have other things to do, so we'll wait for a minute or two for your feedback and then close. Anyway, there's no electricity, so my power backup may run out of any time. So if you are good, then maybe we can draw the session to a close. Thank you. So thank you so much for taking out time and joining us on a Saturday. Thank you for being so participative. I truly appreciate that. And I hope you will make the right choice and join the program if this calls for you to make your 2025 better. Go for what you want. Don't settle for what you get. So thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful weekend, and we will connect next. Next Saturday, there will be no session because we have a book launch planned in Delhi. So there will be no session. The next session will now be on 30th of November. Yeah. Thank you.